If you are not getting around people who are constantly expanding your brain, probing you, challenging you, and heading in directions and also crowds where you are uncertain how the outcome is going to go, I can almost always assess and assume that you are not playing big enough. Naturally, when you play big enough, there is a degree of uncertainty that you will have along that journey. And I, first of all, have learned that when I have that uncertainty and I'm heading in a direction and I don't know exactly what's going to happen, but there's a nervous excitement behind it, I know I'm moving correctly. Now, who am I? My name is William Gil. I've been in the fitness industry coaching for the past 7 years, helping people look good and feel good. But not only that, I've also been in the sales industry myself, being a coach for Bruno Bairami, aka HTC, and I've also got my own inner circle, helping people transform their life on the other side of fear. So, when you feel that sensation, like you know every step, and nothing is really exciting you, and you're kind of just doing the boring work, that is great. And there is a time and place for this. When you have a system, you know it works, and you're building towards a certain number, that's okay. But if you are stagnant, and you know there are places that you want to go, and you are someone who typically experiences and holds themselves back when they experience fear towards a certain direction, then it's a very clear signal that you're not playing big enough and you're not getting around people who are pushing you, people who are challenging your current worldview. You see, for me to get to where I am today, I would not have done it if I didn't do things that made me feel extremely uncomfortable. As an example, when I was younger and all I was trying to do was get women, I would do dares to kind of build some balls of steel. And one of the dares was when I was in a train carriage, like a busy train carriage by myself, I didn't have friends around me or whatever it is, to stand up in front of everyone just randomly and start singing, okay, out loud. And now that to me back in the day was the most nerve-wracking thing possible. So here I am in the train. I had a normal conversation with someone before asking me for directions, and all of a sudden out of nowhere, unexpectedly, I stand up with the lyrics to Enter Sandman, Metallica. This was in one of the Sydney trainways in Australia. And I just start trying to project my shaky voice. I'm just like, and I'm shaking, like my head, my whole body just wants to close up and just hide away. And I remember that same guy who I had a conversation with, who asked me for directions, just gave me the weirdest look, like, oh, I didn't know you were retarded. And this old lady stood up, got out of the carriage, went downstairs, and just gave me like this dirty look, like, who are you? Anyways, I sing what I deem is enough, and I'm just absolutely bathed in embarrassment. I sit back down and I just wait. I have to wait for my train stop still. So I'm just sitting there in the most awkward thing ever. Like everyone's just like, what the hell just happened? Anyways, get to my stop, get up, start walking out, and I look into the downstairs carriage, and the old lady's like pointing at me with her group, like, that's the guy. So awkward. And I was so scared doing that, I won't lie. And then as soon as I stepped off that train and the doors started to close, as soon as they closed and then the train started going away, I had this extreme sensation rush over me. This sensation of just absolute pride. Like, you just did that. And the most interesting thing happened was that any form of social anxiety that I had completely disappeared. And for the rest of that night, I met my friends at the club, and I was the most confident, unafraid, unapologetic person that I have ever seen of myself in that club, if you know what I mean. And it was just so interesting. It was so interesting that The thing that I was afraid of the most in that circumstance was the very thing that rewarded me in ways that I couldn't have imagined. And this has happened several times throughout my life. For example, last weekend I went to a 3-day boot camp. Speaking on stage, refining the skill, getting people to actually push your limits, expose weaknesses, and expand your mindset. And it's been a while since I've really been in an environment where I was challenged in that kind of way. And all of a sudden there's an extra light that I feel because of that. And it's happened every single time I've leveled up in my life was when I've confronted fear, truly. And one of the easiest ways is getting around the right people, doing the things you're scared of. These are the things that you can pick momentum up doing and then utilize for your day-to-day. But when you are not doing things to push yourself, scare yourself, and you're not going in the direction that you know deep down, if you really listen to that voice that's telling you to do that thing, and you don't, that voice within you, like that feeling about yourself slowly just dies. All of a sudden, you're not as confident as you used to be. You don't hold yourself the same way. It's because you're ignoring those signals. So get around people who push you. That's why I'm starting my own inner circle. To help people believe in themselves a bit more. The same way I didn't necessarily believe in myself in certain areas of my life. Growing up in a small town, it was very hard to see things in a different light. But when I left and went to the Gold Coast, I got exposed to people making over $1 million a month in their online business. And that helped me instantly adopt new beliefs. And for those people to see within me what is capable of being able to do the exact same thing that I may have not seen. And that's exactly what it's about. It's instilling belief. It's looking at blind spots. It's being able to diagnose what's holding yourself back, what within you is holding yourself back. Because it is possible. If you can see the vision, if you know what it looks like, you can achieve it. And the only reason you wouldn't achieve it, like I said on a podcast that I got interviewed on today, the only reason is if you didn't believe it. Okay? And the other reason, which goes back to the first one, is that if you allowed other people's opinions and their limiting beliefs to be instilled onto you, which therefore, again, you didn't believe it. So it comes down to you. So get around the right people who instill positive beliefs in you and see a bright future ahead for you to help fulfill your vision. So that's my message for today. Inner Circle, it's on my website in the description below. Otherwise, feel free to join the newsletter. We have a 30-day mental mastery newsletter. Okay, you can essentially get every single day a new mindset tip, a new paradigm shift, the way to look at things to be able to become the best version of yourself to accomplish your goals. So just go ahead, check in the link in the description, either for the newsletter or the Inner Circle. Hope that helps, and I'll see you in the next one.